Hello everyone, thank you for joining our webinar, and today we are going to talk about the next big opportunity for service providers: how to increase margin, how to attract new customers, retain current ones, and stay competitive in the market that is always growing and developing. My name is Tatiana Fedorenchik. I'm Product Marketing Director at Virtuozzo. And before introducing our speakers, I just want to mention that we are waiting for your questions during the session. Please submit your questions in the question tabs, and we will try to answer all of them during the session when it is possible, or already at the end of the session when we have everything covered. Also, this session is recorded. I'm delighted to present Patrick Dolan, our Cloud Solutions Director. Patrick has years of experience in hosting and cloud, and he works with our service providers and partners around the world. And also Ruslan Sinitsky, who is CTO at Virtuozzo and previously co-founder of Jelastic. As you probably know, Jelastic recently became a part of Virtuozzo, bringing platform as a service solution to Virtuozzo product line. And considering that today we have a great mix of partners that are already part of family of Virtuozzo and also some newcomers, I would like to give a short overview of what is Virtuozzo and who is Virtuozzo. Virtuozzo is the leading provider of hyperconverged full stack platform with infrastructure and cloud solutions, who first developed production-ready container technology over 20 years ago. Our extensive portfolio of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and anything as a service with built-in virtualization, storage, management tools enables service providers to build offering cutting-edge cloud solutions out of box for their customers. And currently, our solutions are already available across about 700 service providers worldwide. Now, let me hand over to Patrick, who can surely share more details about cloud hosting market and opportunities for service providers that it brings. Patrick?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. Definitely want to talk a little bit about kind of just set up why we're here today, kind of set the tone for how we see the industry. So one of the things that we're looking at is an industry with increasing competition. It seems like every day it's coming from everywhere. It's coming from traditional hosting providers. It's coming from new website providers, as far as the builders out there and the different options that you have. It's coming from, you name it. It seems like there's new entrants as far as trying to create new ways as far as delivering, like WordPress hosting, different types of hosting. Then you have the biggest ones, which is the hyperscalers, the ones who are getting all the headlines, some good, some bad, more recently. But there's a lot that the hosting providers are dealing with, and there's two ways of dealing with it. There's more than two, but the main options that we're looking at is you can see you just get crushed by the competition. You can just keep doing what you're already doing, and just wait and see what happens, and potentially get crushed. The other one is what we want to try to help our partners do, and that's become a star. And that's what it's all about today, is trying to look for those opportunities as far as how you can become a star and really just exceed and overcome all the pressures you see today. So the things that we're going to briefly talk about, there's a lot of detail that we can get into as far as some of these challenges that we're facing that are causing the pressures of today. But just a little bit that we're going to cover today is really, how do you stay relevant? How do you stay relevant in this type of market? How do you create opportunities, again, when you have the pressure and when you have all these changes going on? The next thing is building value. So within your organization, everybody wants to be able to build value in their organization for their ownership. If you're trying to raise money, if you're trying to do something, or eventually sell your company, you want to make sure that you get the most value out of your company. And then the next thing we'll get into is how do you provide new solutions? How do you make sure that you're staying relevant with the new solutions that are in demand today, and then quickly being able to provide new solutions of tomorrow. So we'll get into how we're going to be able to help you do that. So one thing that Tatiana mentioned right in the beginning was how involved we've been in the industry for years. So we've had 20 years in the industry. We've had 40% of coverage as far as the major providers, and then what we're doing is we're taking a lot of that knowledge and we're sharing that with our providers, our partners, and trying to figure out, how can they maximize their ROI? How can they grow? How can they reposition themselves? How can they, gain access to new markets? So that's what we like to do as far as making sure that our customers, our partners, are successful. And one of the things that this is a small graph of that we're expanding on and exploring more is just some of the things that we're seeing is as far as how they can maximize their ROI on the actual rack. And as you can see, as you get into more of a platform as a service, you're seeing you're getting a lot more revenue per rack. And this maximizing the ROI is going to help you, as you can see the next slide here, is really being able to create more value. And this is, where do you fit in today? And this, again, is just taking some of our knowledge of the industry. And we know that, some of the traditional hosting providers aren't getting the valuations that they want today. Whether they're selling, whether or not they're raising capital, they're really only looking at, like less than 1, maybe 1.5 as far as the valuations in most cases, if all they're doing is focusing on traditional products. So what we're doing is trying to enable them to get into the higher value products. So yeah, we can definitely help when it comes to all the traditional products. We've got a tremendous history. We can do everything that you possibly need there. But now we have a lot more to offer as far as moving up into a cloud provider. And that multiple, don't get too fixated on the numbers. It can go a lot higher than that as far as what we're seeing today. But again, you can just see the trend moving in that space. Then we get into the diversified platform as a service providers, and the sky's the limit. That's what we want to try to do, is keep that trajectory, keep that going up for you, keep giving you the products that are relevant today and then into the future. What we're seeing is a big difference of what happened 15 years ago. So when you're looking at some of these traditional hosting providers, you're really looking at them, some of them are having trouble transitioning, as far as what's going on today. And so this is just a very quick view of what's going on for small businesses. Back 15 years ago, all people wanted was an existence. They wanted to be able to get their website up and running. It was like, hey, have you heard about the creating your own website? You can do it quickly. And so that's what they wanted, something simple. But today, that's not what they want anymore. They want more of the experience. They want to be intuitive. If they're building something, then they want to build it. It's meaningful. They want something that's going to actually help their business. And then when you get into support, back 15 years ago, they'd be excited to get a 1-800 number. They'd be like, hey, great, I have a phone, I can pick it up, I can actually speak to somebody, whereas some providers made it difficult to do. Now, whether or not they're paying $10 or $1,000, they want white glove service. It's really about how you can become their partner, how you can be somebody that's actually supporting their organization. So that's what we're seeing more and more of, and it's becoming a big point for service providers is focus on that area and focus on providing that service to keep that customer and retain them as a lifelong customer. The next thing is tools. Before in the past they just wanted something simple, easy to use, something to tell them, hey, there's a problem with your website, there's something wrong. Now they want a dashboard. They want it all really at their fingertips. They want it there, show them, hey, here's what we're doing. The last thing there is the cost. Before they used to say, hey, for a cup of coffee, a month, you can have a website. And now, if the website's important to them, if their hosting is important to them, they're not as concerned about the actual cost. Yeah, they're not going to want to pay overpay for anything, things like that. But what they want more is speed. They want reliability. They want security. So it's really different today. So you can focus more on the performance and not just say cut costs as low as you can, because that's where you get into the difficulty if all you want to do is compete on cost. And so that's where we've been really providing our strength. And you can see, Tatiana, next slide here. We have historically been focused on performance with Virtuozzo. We've been providing solutions that are reliable, fast, secure, things like that. And that's what we've been doing. But everything today is really focused on the experience. And that's where you get it more into what we've added over the past year, with Jelastic, and where you can actually take these things and build the experience off of the products that we're doing. Quickly be able to go to market with intuitive solutions, quickly have that dashboard, quickly create that experience. And so what we're doing is enabling service providers to focus on that, focus on the service, focus on new ways as far as creating revenue for their and success for their partners, and allow us to help you quickly take these to market. And this is the thing is how are you going to get there? And so there's 4 ways that we look at it at a high level is how you can get there. And so the first one, some of the people are saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to build my own infrastructure. I'm going to work with one of the hyperscalers. I'm going to build products off of it, take them to market. And they're paying a lot for it. They're paying a ton to have that option. And they're also sacrificing speed. That's one of the things that we can get into is how Virtuozzo products perform compared to the hyperscalers. So you're paying a lot for less. And then the next thing is you could say, okay, great. There's a lot of nice, really amazing enterprise platforms that are out there. They're not for most providers. Typically, they're more for enterprises and not really geared towards creating services off of them to sell to customers and to provide for your partners. Or you can say, okay, I'm going to build it from scratch, and that's another another thing that you have to take on is one, do you have the resources, and what's the time to market, and what it's going to take to actually get there. So that's kind of setting up, Ruslan now as far as what our goal is, and that's what we can do is provide you with with the set of products and solutions that you can quickly go to market. So definitely, that's what we think is going to help you create the value, create the solutions, and really create the products of the future.
And now, Ruslan, that would be perfect to figure out what is included in this full stack cloud platform that Patrick mentioned, and how this platform can provide benefits for service providers, how service providers can leverage maximum out of that. So please share a bit more details with us.
Thank you, Tatiana, and thank you, Patrick, for providing overview and describing opportunities. So let's talk now about the exact product we have and how this product can help you to generate more money and more revenue and make your customers happier. So what is Virtuozzo DevOps Plus? In general, what is the DevOps Plus? So as Patrick mentioned, today customers are looking for better performance, better scalability, higher uptime, and just deploying one instance is not enough for a business, for serious business. You need to have some kind of availability. So in DevOps Plus simplifies these complex actions that system administrators should perform mostly almost on a daily basis, specifically if you're hosting multiple customers, right? So creating clusters, scaling these clusters, delivering updates to these clusters, all these tasks are complex, and people who know how to perform these tasks, they are expensive. So DevOps Plus simplifies this work, it automates this work, so it requires less human efforts to achieve the same or even better results. So for end customers, it saves a lot of money on human resources. So because one person can do 3-5 people in the past. So for our solution, Virtuozzo DevOps Plus provide intuitive panel for system administrators or for developers, and they can perform these complex tasks easily. So they can spend less time and efforts on maintenance of the application software stacks, on load balancing, scalability, and so on. So they can focus on the core value of their business. And this product, it's not something that just we created yesterday. It's proven solution. It was deployed across more than 100 data centers already. So it's more than 10 years, let's say, like development behind it. And it can be run on top of any infrastructure. Of course, the best performance you will get if you run on top of parameter. But it's not the case in many situations. Like sometimes you want to utilize existing infrastructure as a service, right? Or like you want to utilize even hyperscalers. So this solution can be deployed like on top of any kind of infrastructure. So, and one of the good use cases is our partner T-Line, which is providing services in the United States and in Latin America. And previously, they used Virtuozzo hybrid infrastructure. It's infrastructure as a service developed by Virtuozzo. And later, they realized that there is a good opportunity for them in DevOps market, and there is a demand for them. And they approached us, they tested the product, they like it a lot, and they installed PaaS component on top of existing infrastructure as a service component. So in this way, they expanded set of services they can deliver to their customers, and they can cover more use cases, and they can increase their margin. Because again, as I mentioned, PaaS solves more complex issues than just infrastructure service. Still, infrastructure service require you a lot of automation that should be done by yourself. So, and today platform is already installed in one data center, but in the near future, they are going to expand to multiple regions because our PaaS component is a multi-site management solution. And yeah, like, and they can even utilize hyperscalers in the future if they want. So there is this opportunity. You can start small from one region, one data center, but later you can expand across multiple locations. And it's very useful nowadays because local data regulations, so data should stay in country, right? Like data sovereignty, havability across countries, like the whole data center can go down. And with our solution, it's possible to get protection against such kind of disasters, let's say. So, and PaaS layer simplifies significantly this work. And at the end, again, like it will be unified experience across all locations, same user interface, same APIs. It's like full interoperability, even if you deploy like on top of hyperscale. So please, next slide. Yeah, who are the customers? Like, what are the most popular use cases? So there is a list of, let's say, customer groups that we define it. We actually analyze it our customer base and customers base, let's say. And you can see like the ISVs, e-commerce, digital agencies, game developers, educations, financial organizations, IoT, logistic, entertainment, system integrators. So in other words, like any company that has internal R&D or that deploys complex applications, they need such kind of automation tool because they want to save efforts and they want to save human resources, because that's the most valuable thing in your company. That's the most expensive actually resource in your company. And going to the next slide. So as a good example of one of ISVs, let's say, we have great customer, Jaya, which is developing enterprise CMS, and they're hosting large websites like, for example, NASA is using them and many others. So what happened actually? Why they like Virtuozzo DevOps PaaS, and what kind of problem it solved? Like, so in the previously they were doing business based on download and pay for license, right? Like traditional kind of way. But they realized that people don't want to install things by themselves, like servers and configure, like, and they want to consume as a service. So they transform their business from pay for license to SaaS service. So they did a SaaSification. And in case of PaaS component, they took our engine, they deployed across multiple regions, and they used our API and our technology, which is called cloud scripting, to automate deployment of their application. And they just built their own like UI, which is focusing specifically on their application, but they are consuming whole like automation layer on the backend. So it significantly speeded up time to market. It significantly reduced human efforts. So, and it helps them to transform to a new business model. They're very happy customer, and they actually expand in regions and increasing consumption. Like so, and we're happy as well to have such kind of customers. So today they have multi-cloud deployment.
Yeah,
next one.
and just to add here, Ruslan, that one of the reasons they also like to work with DevOps platform that we are offering is the ability to have their own UI on top, and they are using API to build it, and they are just like adoring that they can simplify the process so much that their end customers even don't need to know that they have DevOps platform behind them, so that they just see several buttons and get the product up and running in minutes. And the rest of the world behind the curtains are done by DevOps platform.
Yep, it's a good addition. Thank you very much. So we can talk more about this use case, like because they utilize different things, like they're happy. And another good of digital transformation, another good example of digital transformation, when, for example, our great partner from Switzerland, Hedora, took a platform which was a DevOps Pass, and they were collaborating with digital services provider. And this digital service provider offering services for Swiss aviation small medium enterprises. And a similar story, like in the past, the digital agency was struggling with a lot of resources spending on automating stuff, like making havability, like deploying like new updates, like it was complex. Sometimes it was not successful, like but with new tools, they improved quality, they improved time to deliver updates, and they provide great service to their customer. Right? So it's a perfect use case and great story of collaboration between the companies, Virtuozzo, Hedora, and Digitalia. And one more use case.
Just again to add here, this is also a good point to understand for service providers that while gaining digital agencies as your customers, you're gaining kind of reseller for your product, because digital agencies are looking for projects around the world. They are attracting those projects to build some software for them or to make some kind of project for them, IT project. And in this way, they are bringing those customers to you. Those customers are going to use your resources. They're going to pay for hosting on your cloud hosting platform. So this is a great point to have one client that will bring you much more clients on top.
Yeah, agreed. Digital agencies, really do. A lot of them end up turning into very large resellers of your products. So.
Correct. We also just to highlight that there is a specific functionality inside Virtuozzo DevOps Pass that enables you to open special accounts, like maybe like VIP accounts you can call them, and the digital agency can white label and put their own logos, like put their own domains, and for them it's great opportunity, because they can deliver own platform with own values, it's a really great tool for collaboration between digital agencies and cloud hosting service providers. So it's a perfect match, I would say. It's a perfect couple in this cloud hosting business. Great. So please, next one. One more great example, even more, let's say, complex, but at the end it's simple for end customer. But complexity was in the following, that we have end customer FA solution. It's a company that is developing financial services, software for financial services. And as you know, financial data is very strictly regulated in different countries. Data should stay within the country, and they have customers around the globe, right? And so what they did, first of all, they liked experience of Virtuozzo DevOps Pass because it simplified their all internal R&D processes, and delivery processes. but they collaborated with multiple cloud hosting service providers, and they deployed their solution into different locations because their customers, as I mentioned, like banks, financial institutions, they must keep data within the country. And this company, FA Solution, they're using the same UI, the same API, so they don't need to redesign like application if they deploy into another country. So, and it's seamless experience, like it's like interoperability. They develop once, like, and they can deploy in multiple locations, choose appropriate partner, like, and provide great experience to customers in different countries. Like, so it's awesome example. So maybe Tatiana, you want to add something here as well?
Well, here you covered everything. I'm not going to interrupt you after the slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. So maybe just one more thing, like it's a good opportunity for them because there is also specific pricing, like based on consumption. Like, so if they don't consume a lot in a specific region, they just don't pay. Like, so, and it's a good and efficient solution. And then, so coming to the next slide, with Virtuozzo DevOps platform as a service, it's possible to cover multiple cases. So it really depends on your experience, and it depends on your target audience, like what kind of customers you want to target. But just several to name, like platform as a service. It's targeting developers and DevOps guys mostly, right? Then we have integrated WordPress as a service, which delivers high performance, highly available WordPress solutions for websites that require like high uptime and fault tolerance. It's integrated already inside. We did performance testing by third-party provider, like, and we are very good. We have very good positions in terms of performance and availability. Same for Magento. Magento is very popular in commerce, as we know. Like, so we have clusters for Magento. But in general, you can package any application like this, make a cluster, and use continuous integration and continuous delivery tools to update applications quickly and deliver added value to your customers, not only like resources, but specific solution for your customers. So with help of DevOps platform, you can simplify this process significantly. And there are other things like database as a service, Kubernetes as a service, which is growing. Demand is growing on Kubernetes, really, like, so, and containers as a service. So all these services are very much interesting for developers, ISVs, and DevOps communities. So that's in short. And now it's time for quick demo.
Now it's time for quick demo. And before I'm going there is a question from our attendees right now. I have a traditional hosting company since 2006 using cPanel, Flask, VMware, and Xen. How should I move to DevOps and platform as a service?
Very good. So I believe it can be easy. You need just to allocate some resources for initial installation. You can start small and then grow to bigger number of service, and then discover our panel to understand, like, because if you use cPanel and Flask, most likely you have a lot of WordPress customers. And we have specific solution for WordPress customers, but it's not, let's say, like for WordPress customers that are looking for $1 like web host. No, it's more like for middle and high-end and customers that are looking for high uptime, scalability, good performance. And like Tatiana, thank you for showing this one. Like, as you can see, like, we pre-configured like scaling strategy. Like, it can be because like traffic can come quickly or slower. Like, so depending on scaling strategy, we can scale cluster faster or slower as well. And we pre-configured like light speed, high performance web server. Performance is super good. And we integrated like brute force attack protection and web application firewalls. We also provide high availability on database level, so you can install Galera, just check a box and done. We integrated SSL automation, and we also integrated premium CDN, so you may use it or may not, like depending on your needs. And there is a high availability on storage level as well, and multi-site plugin. And you can choose different locations, like where to deploy. Like, we even have packages for multi-region deployments. So, and this direction is very interesting for us. Like we will put even more efforts here, like, because we see growing demand. So you can start from this, like, so because the cPanel Plesk, most likely your customers have issues with uptime and performance, because like if traffic starts growing, like, so Plesk and Panel unfortunately are not helping you to resolve this problem. So you need to migrate to Jelastic, and it's easy to migrate for WordPress websites from Plesk and cPanel to Jelastic. Just database like and files like and upload into. We have some into Jelastic. We have some add-ons specific. So also you can work with the DevOps community, Tatiana. Yeah, this is for smaller customers like standalone kit, like when we deploy into one container. It's good for beginning, let's say, like, but again, as I mentioned, like every serious production must have availability. It's a must today. Like it's not like, in the past, oh, like my website online, fine. Like no, like your website should be online like 100% of time. So good, Tatiana. Yeah. Patrick, you want to add something?
Yeah, definitely want to mention, we have some amazing tools to quickly go to market and everything you need. But, one other thing that you can also start with is just, setting up a meeting with us, and we can set up a workshop where we can really define your business strategy as far as, what your plan is. How are you going to get from point A to point B? How are you going to transform your business? So we can help you with the business strategy. And then as you'll see with Ruslan here, we have all of the tools that you need. So that's going to be a combined effort from both business and technical. So just start with the conversation.
Cool. So, but there is also opportunity to build relations with the DevOps communities. So you can attend meetups and present like guys, like we have a great tool for you, hosted locally in my own country. Like, so I am the guy behind it. Like you can call me, make it special deals, like, to get more familiar with developers' habits, let's say, like, and preferences, like, like to show some demos, like.
And there is also there is also a connected question here. May we hear about what support Virtuozzo will give us when utilizing solutions like this WordPress cluster if there is a problem with the service itself?
Great. So first of all, we expect that you deliver first level of support to your customers. You need to learn how to troubleshoot basic things, at least, like, because it's still your customers. But if something serious happens, we are always here to help. Like we are not just selling you like software and done. Like like we are always collaborating with partners. Like so, our existing partners know and value a lot our support services and our personal relations. So we really work like a partners here. Like, so your problems, our problems. Your success is our success. So we are definitely on the same page. Like we will help you to understand how it works and troubleshoot complex cases. If also there is a big customer that you need to provide some proof of concept, like our team can help you as well.
Yes, basically we have like training as well, like if that is required. But for sure, if you are working with WordPress direction, we expect that you already have experience around that solution. But in general, about WordPress inside the platform, for sure we will provide materials, we will provide assistance and some technical training in general. And in future, if there are any issues connected with the platform itself around this solution, we have 24/7 support that can assist as well. But for sure, you're working with the customers directly by yourself, especially if you have white labeling and you don't really need to tell customers that this is a solution from our side. Patrick, you wanted to tell something?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we definitely have the world-class 24/7 support. We have the training, everything you need. We also do have some partners who just don't want to provide their own infrastructure anymore. So there's some cases where we do have our really some regional partners, some of our preferred partners that will actually help help you as well. So if you're looking for some of these solutions, you're looking for some of these things, and you want extra support. If you want this more like trying to get away from it, where you're focused more on service, there's that option as well. So we're seeing a lot of different options, and we can help match you up based on your business needs and your customer needs.
Great. Ruslan, let's
Good. Thank you.
let's move on.
Yes. Thank you for the additional notes. They're valuable. So now Tatiana is showing which is a topology wizard. So previously it was like marketplace, right? It's more for less experienced people, like who want just to deploy a solution, like e-commerce, like WordPress, like whatever. And this panel is more for like developers and DevOps guys, like because like every environment needs every application, sorry, needs an environment. Like an environment can consist different software stacks. For example, Tatiana is showing like a list of software stacks, application servers for Java applications, right? There is a big list because Java is rich in general. Like people use different application servers. Like there is also specific list of application servers for PHP, Ruby, Node.js, Python, and others. Like so, we package this for you. We provide updates for you. You don't need to worry about this anymore. It will be automatically delivered to your platform when new updates are coming. But updates to end customers, like it depends on the specific case. Like you can trigger updates, like or end customers can trigger updates. But into the platform, it's coming automatically. So then, what happens? Like for example, you want to create like cluster, right, of Tomcat. Like so, first of all, you set limits per container. Like yeah, you say like I wanna, let's say like 8 GB of RAM like per container, right? And then you say like I want to cluster it environment. So I say like I said like 2, 3, 4, 5 containers or whatever, like depending on your load. And as you can see, we automatically added load balancer, which is green here. This load balancer is Nginx, but there is a list of other load balancers, HA proxy, Lightspeed, depending on your case. Again. And then, like, of course, you need a database. For example, MariaDB, right? It's the most popular database among our customers. And you set vertical scaling limits. And then there is a very nice, unique functionality, which is called auto clustering. We invented this word, let's say. And what we do, like, we automatically set up cluster for you. So there is a drop down of a list of different topologies, because cluster can be configured in different way, like so it can be like primary, secondary, like or Galera. We love Galera a lot, so people, because it's just highly available master, let's say, scheme. And yeah, like so same for NoSQL kind of databases, like MongoDB, and yeah, and you can make a cluster, and there is also like Postgres, like and other kind of databases. So we expanding the list of supporting database services. There is also ability to deploy just simple VPS as you did in the past, like we have like CentOS, Ubuntu, Virtuozzo, like and other stacks. And there is also ability to deploy even custom Docker images. So, for example, if there is a missing stack, maybe something unique, like you can find it on public Docker registries, and just you know, like just set up it inside container, like, and it's easy now. Yeah, and at the end, your customers, if you have like multiple regions, your customers can choose these regions where to deploy. It's pretty easy, pretty seamless experience. After customer choose a region, like customer can check the price difference because different regions may have different hardware, like right, like or cost in different countries. Yeah, so that's the panel for developers, like, and there are panels also for advanced configurations, like for yeah, you can see IP addresses, you can check statistic logs and so on, like, and there are panels for additional configurations like auto horizontal scaling, for example. You can add auto horizontal scaling triggers based on CPU, memory, network. You can say like, please scale out my cluster when load is more than 80%, like, and scale in my cluster when load is less than 30%, something like this, right? Like based on CPU, memory, and other parameters. It's very useful because like you don't need to wake up during the night, like when load is coming, like it will automatically scale up and down, like in and out. There are also additional things like firewalls. Yeah, you can fine-tune firewalls, inbound and outbound rules. There are also alerts, load alerts. We provide load alerts by default. So if load is coming higher than specific threshold, then we will send notification based on, you know, my memory CPU. Like even if out of memory kill happens, we send you a notification. There's a collaboration as well, like, so there are many things for developers to speed up their work, like, and to simplify their life. So that's it in short, like, so only just demo, like, we can do, like, 2 hours probably, like, so, but due to lack of the time, like, we will move to next slides, I believe. Yeah, and explain you another very unique functionality, which is called, we invented cloud native billing model. So, and when your customers realize what it means, they will be in love with your platform, like, because, like, it's really fair cloud native pricing. Like, so what happened in this past, like, or what happened today? Let's say when customers buy virtual machine, they always pay for the limits of this virtual machine. Like, so regardless of the real consumption inside virtual machine, like, so you can see this on the left side, yeah, on the left side, like, so customers always pay for the limits regardless of real consumption, but in reality people reserve more resources as they consume, so your applications consume, or end customers application consume less. And now imagine, like, you have like 100 customers, right, and you can deploy like multiple containers per customer. So there are a lot of wasted resources inside virtual machines. Like, with containers, this problem does not exist, like, because containers automatically share resources between each other, and it's not fair to charge for resources that your application is not consuming. Like, so we invented this model, which is called, like, pay for consumption, pay for use, and it saved a lot of resources a lot of money for end customers, and it solves significant problem, which is called right sizing. Like, you don't need to guess in advance. Your customers don't need to guess in advance how much limits they need to configure. Like, and imagine if you have like hundreds containers, your customers, like, have hundreds containers. So, like, to go to load balancer, to fine tune it, like, to application server, to database, like, oh my god, like, I have 100 customers, traffic comes to me, like, so what should I do? Like, how much should I increase? Like, now this problem just not exist, like, because end customers, they set high limits, and it's okay, like, because they don't pay for these limits, like, they have insurance. If load is coming, like, they can get immediately this resource, like, but by default they don't pay for them, like, and if they're afraid that they may overpay, if there is a load alert, if load is coming, they will get notification about this. So this just amazing model. And yeah, Tatiana can show statistic just to explain in reality how it works. Like, yeah, so in this example, we have like limits 4 GB, but in reality, the application consumes like 2.5. So as you can see, about like 40% is reserved. Like, so, and customers will not pay for this. Like, and it's a simple example, like, because 4 GB it's still okay. Like, imagine if you have like 16 GB, like, right, like, and one container, like, or if you have like hundreds containers like this. So it saves a lot of resources. It resolves a significant problem, which is called right sizing. So you can print right sizing problem in cloud computing. You can find articles, my article specifically about this, like, and you will get better understanding. Like, again, like, as soon as customers understand that you have this model, like, they will stick with you, like, because it's very cost efficient for them. Like, yeah.
While we are back in the demo, we have some questions, so I want to cover them. So one of the questions, the topology wizard has a toggle for public IPv4. What about IPv6? So here you see IPv4, and yeah, there is the support for IPv6 as well within the platform, but it depends on the service provider. This is just demo platform, where most likely we didn't add them here, but some of our partners, they have IPv6 as well. We have support for that also.
Yeah, definitely. IPv6 is supported, like, so you can add multiple IPv4, multiple IPv6 per one container, like, so it's working, it's available. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question: can one explore the demo setup? I'm not sure about this question, if I understand it correctly, but you can get access to our demo lab and can play with that. You just need to get in touch with us and share the details about your business and like what you would like to get, so our team can assist you and create a demo account for trying out. And one more, do you give them a username password?
Let me maybe answer a little bit more here. Like, so we are showing now panel for end customers. Like, we also have a panel for system administrators for you, and you will be able to save a lot of resources on the whole cluster management. I mean, the whole infrastructure management. Just due to lack of the time, like, we are not able to show like the full set of demos. Like, but you can get access to our demo lab and to check panel for end customers and panel for your team. So that's because there is a lot of work behind for managing the infrastructure as well.
Sure. And one more question, what storage layer is Jelastic using? Is it directly provisioning and accessing volumes managed by VHI?
Good question. So yeah, it can be configured, volumes can be configured so Jelastic consumes this volumes inside, like so. But in general, again, like you need to think about this like a layers, right? Like, so you configure storage VMs inside VHI, and then we deploy Jelastic on top of it. So at the moment, there is no direct connection between this DevOps panel and infrastructure as a service panel. So they work kind of independently. Yeah, but in the next year, like, we are going to unify the whole experience, so it will be completely like one platform, and from one panel you will be able to use different functionalities, infrastructure service, platform as a service, like so, and you will be able to combine functionalities from the both.
Okay, great. So we have also questions around this topic. So first of all, Jory is asking if he can get the link to the Forbes article. Surely we will share, after the webinar, we will share the recording and also the presentation with the links and all the information that we are showcasing today. And one more.
Please include link to this right sizing problem in cloud computing, like, or just guys Google it. You will find it.
I will add it to the presentation, no problem. So one more question, why do we want to reduce our revenue by only billing for usage versus allocated resources? It's beneficial for customers, yes, but how is it a benefit for the service providers? Really good question, Ruslan.
Absolutely good question. Like, so yeah, like, look, we have many partners today, like, we offer in two models. Like, so if you want to go like old way, like fixed price, you can go for it. Like, so it's your business. But honestly, like, none of our partners offered like this fixed model. Like, so everyone offered this flexible model pay per use. Like, so the trick here for service providers, because there is automation, it automatically distributes containers, like, so it utilizes very efficiently the whole infrastructure, and you can increase price per unit of resource. So the trick here, like, okay, you charge, let's say, like, not a trick, like, I mean, like, the point here, like, so you charge for real consumption, but cost of the unit is higher comparing to the cost of like just pure like VM, because there are a lot of automation behind it, like, and people appreciate it, like, so, and due to these things, like, due to much better utilization of infrastructure, due to smart distribution, and due to higher cost of the base unit, so you get higher margin at the end. Like, so if you go like the same price, like as you sell VPS, like, yes, maybe like you will lose some revenue. But we don't recommend to do this, like, because this automation brings a lot of value. So again, like, it depends on your strategy. Like, if you want to go like very aggressively, like, so you can just win new customers, because, for example, your competitor will provide just VPS, right? Like, not scalable. Like, you can offer for the same price scalable solution. So it's an option for you to go to the market and play different. Let's say like options, like, right? So to explore different options. So none of our customers, again, like, none of our partners converted back to fixed model. None.
Yeah, because this is a good, also like a good promotional way and good selling point while talking to customers. This is some kind of differentiation that you can offer while competing with other cloud vendor, because no one except this DevOps platform, no other cloud vendor right now is offering the same way of billing.
Correct. I would like to add a little bit one more thing here, like, because like there is some movement already, like giants started to offer like pay-per-use, but they're offering this for serverless workloads, not for traditionals like we. So they introduced this model, so it's coming to the market, guys. Like, you have no choice. Like, we will be there because it's more fair for end customers. Like, why we should charge for things that customers don't consume? Like, you don't pay for electricity by chunks, you know, like for limits. Like, you pay for electricity in reality how much you consume. Let's say, right?
So yeah, the market is already going there, and you have a great opportunity to be among the first ones who will offer that and grab those first customers to yourself with this kind of model. Ruslan, I'm going to cut you a bit because we are really short in time and we still have questions. So I think that more or less we covered this topic.
Awesome.
And in more details, we can cover it separately. And guys, feel free to drop us a message after the webinar, so we will try to cover everything. So we have our partner here, Elias from T-Line Chile. We are planning to install Jelastic and already installed Virtuozzo in our data center. We are still learning how it works and how can offer solutions like Kubernetes containers and DevOps in good manner. I'd like to know and have a complete example and well explained how can implement a CI/CD flow within Jelastic first to learn. Do you have a real life example to accomplish this? Second, for explain the tech to my co-workers, and third, to be prepared not only for sell but also to give a good support for the next customers. By the way, today is my free day and I connected with you because the tech is interesting for me and I want to learn. Can I email you to continue this conversation? That's perfect. That even during the weekdays, like when you're not working, you're still with us. So this is a really detailed question, and I think that this is something that we even need to cover during a separate webinar. But I will answer in short that for sure we give some technical training for our partners, technical support training for your support team. When you become a part of our partner community, we are going to provide you technical support training for your team. We are going to provide you also business training, how to sell it, and like what kind of resources can be used, what kind of materials can be used. And in future, surely, if there are any issues, you can contact support. But for sure, we expect that you are going to learn it more deeply while trying, while doing, while having your own use cases and covering this direction more and more with more knowledge. Sorry, Ruslan, do you have anything to add here in short? Because I think that we can come back to him.
Look, guys, Kubernetes is a very hot topic. Like, so I had multiple meetings today with existing customers and potential customers. Like how Kubernetes is coming to every topic. Like, for sure, like we are going to deliver additional webinars just focusing specifically on this, and additional training sessions to our great partners who want to focus on this direction. Look, like it's not for really. So this direction is for experienced guys. Like, so if you want to serve that direction, like it's very good, like because demand is growing. Like people, I mean, ISVs are developing software directly for Kubernetes, so it will be like by default, like you know, in the future. Like, so we will put definitely efforts behind it, like to deliver our knowledge, to share our knowledge, to help your team. We do help our partners to go through the first quick wins. So we can even do it, I mean, like POCs together with you for your customers. So you can learn together with the process like of onboarding, and then you can repeat the success. Like, so we have like knowledge base, like good use cases, like comparison. So that area is strategic for us. So please be sure, like you will not be alone. We will help you.
And also we already have a set of articles covering this CI/CD inside Kubernetes, for instance, and some other stuff that can be found within the blog. And surely in future we will consider creating a new webinar dedicated to the containerization and Kubernetes stuff. So you will be able to join us and figure out more details around that. And connected with that, we have a question about, not question, but just wish list. I expect you continue to upload videos in your YouTube channel about VHI. These demonstrations are very helpful for us. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, right now we are working more on the video parts and training and also some guides for you to get more details about the product. So I will skip this one and just say that you are going to get not only the product itself, not only the technology, but as we already were mentioning, you're going to get full business support. You will be able to have white labeling of this platform and run it under your own brand. You will have training of support team. You will have training of marketing team and business kit with some templates, with some content that can help you get started easily and to run the business properly, because your success is our success. If you're going to have any extra questions, you can drop them to us. And Patrick, Ruslan, do you have something to say to our attendees today? Something more?
First of all, I want to thank you, everyone who joined it today, like who is willing to learn more, like, and transform to new business, like so. Because look, guys, like we are together, we're in the same boat. Like we want you to be successful, and we want you to do your business in local countries, like so. We are on the same page here, like because like look, we are software vendor, like you are service provider, like we need to be partners and collaborate, like so. Please come to us, like ask more questions, learn more about product, like give us a feedback, like, and we will make it.
Yeah, I just want to say, thanks for joining, and I think there's a tremendous opportunity out there with platform as a service and a lot of the different products and things that we can help you bring to market to create value, for your organization, and we're excited to be a part of it. So we're excited to continue the conversation soon.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Ruslan.